this turning of a corner, and that is Brandon Pajemski, our BMW Ultimate Performer of the night. Now, you might be looking at the box score and saying, hey, Clay had 28, you know, Steph had 27, but hey, none of them had a double-double. The only one on the Warriors to do that was Brandon Pajemski. He had 15 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. So when you think about what he also contributed to from an assist perspective, he might have been right there with his Splash Bros.
Oh man, yeah. BP just does so many things, little things, big things. It's like you're surprised at some of the stuff he does because it's like, how did he do that?
Right.
You know, he goes in the paint sometimes and he gets rebounds among guys that are 4 and 5 inches taller than he is, and he comes away with the ball. It's like, dude, how'd you do that? So, but he's fun to watch. I think the NBA is just starting to figure out that this guy can play. Because, you know, when the Warriors drafted him, people were like, who?
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Pajemski was not on anybody's draft board before last season at Santa Clara.
Yeah.
And the year before at Illinois, he didn't play.
Right.
He was on the bench.
Right.
So he transferred out. So watching him go from not playing 2 years ago to being on nobody's draft board a year ago to being a first-round draft pick to being in the rotation with, as he says, on a team with 4 Hall of Famers, that's a rise for your tip. That's a big-time rise.
That is quite the rise. It's not the same as, you know, his mentor, Stephen Curry.
Well.
But same, you know, kind of similar underdog story.
Yes.
And I think that when you think about Stephen Curry and you think about what you just said about Brandon Pajemski of how the heck did he do that, that definitely applies to this man right here. Look at the last 3 games before the holidays, 30 points per game, 54 from the field, 51 from 3. I mean, he is doing astronomical numbers here for his team and really just stepping it up. And I feel like he's in a groove right now.
Yeah, I mean, Steph is one of those guys, he can have a bad quarter and it'll go away because he'll have like 2 tremendous quarters.
Right.
And it's like he might go like 1 for 5 in a quarter. The next 2 quarters he might go, you know, 9 for 9, 9 for 11 or something. So at the end, his numbers are going to be there for you. And tonight, he was huge in that third quarter, at least when the Warriors kind of got some separation from the Blazers in this game. So he's just a tough guy to cover. Guys don't want to run around like he does. Yeah, you know, he exhausts people, and but he scores from every level and from so many different ways. So tonight was one of those games where, look at that. I mean, come on.
How many reverses did he have tonight? I mean, it was really impressive to see when he was 2 of 7 from 3, not being able to score as well from beyond the arc, still being able to find ways to get inside of the paint. He's actually at the podium right now. Let's see what he had to say about the game.
Competitive spirit and a healthy ego of understanding who you are as a player and responding when things don't go your way. That's what we've done for our entire careers, what he's, you know, shown time after time. You got to make certain adjustments, and he's done that. Saying let the game come to him, make the easy play. We know he can shoot. That'll never leave him. So just the shots he's taking. I mean, tonight he had some heat checks in the third, but you know, consistently the ball is moving. He's finding good looks, and that's the Klay Thompson we know.
Hi, Steph. Another good win for you guys. How big will the test be on Monday when you take on Denver in Denver?
I don't remember the last time we won there. Probably a couple of years. We didn't win last year. So obviously defending champs, and you know, they've been playing well. I'm probably back to full strength. So marquee games on Christmas, gonna be a great atmosphere. You know, we've been in that environment before, so understand what it's gonna be like on the road. It's gonna be fun to just compete. It's a test. That's the next one on the schedule though too. So you kind of understand how they play, lock in on what we need to do, try to go get a win.
Steph, Lou.
Speaking of locking in, I talked to Jonathan Kuminga before the game. He talked about some of the defensive assignments that he's had to take on playing in these big-time games. We'll see what he can do for the Warriors coming up on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about it.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World during the year-end clearance event or visit sleepworld.com.
Everything you've seen me do was made possible by what you don't see. We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
Oh my goodness. The NBA app is everyone's app. Everyone looking for a bandwagon. Every statistician always in the weeds.
Points, rebounds, assists.
Every streetwear king who's here for the drip. Every Nuggets fan still reigning like a champ. And everyone else on this floating basketball we call Earth.
HCM is a serious heart condition affecting as many as 1 in 200 people, like me.
And me. I was still short of breath on my beta blocker.
So I talked to my cardiologist.
And asked about treatment advances in HCM.
That talk made a real difference.
It gave me new hope.
Talk to your cardiologist today. Visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Your perfect match is waiting, only at Mancini Sleep World with Tempur-Pedic. And you can find your Tempur-Pedic match for as low as $47 a month, plus $300 in free gifts. Compare the cooling of Tempur-Breeze to the support of Adapt to the comfort of Hybrid. Mancini Sleep World carries every Tempur-Pedic model for you to try, with over 1,000 Tempur-Pedic mattresses in stock for immediate delivery. Your perfect Tempur-Pedic match is waiting for you online or in stores at Mancini Sleep World.
Sales. Big O sales.
'Tis the season of savings from Big O Tires. Up to $140 in rebate savings on 4 select in-stock Michelin tires. Plus 0 interest if paid in full within 12 or 6 months. Big O Tires.
Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live. Zena, Keita here with Monte, Poole breaking down the Warriors' win against the Portland Trail Blazers, 126-106. Another win again for the Warriors, not in clutch minutes, being able to put on a formidable flurry. I think I would say of points.
Saucy with the language there.
Trying to, you know, like that alliteration a little bit. But just really putting on a strong showing in the beginning of the game and being able to sustain it. And when you think about how long and how hard it's been for the Warriors to be able to do that, you think about what's been the change.
Yeah.
And one of those bucket getters that gets going in the earlies is Kuminga.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga being able to be a bucket getter for the Warriors. I've been really impressed with the way that he's adapted to this game. We talk about him slowing down in general. For you, Monte, what have you been able to see from him?
Just that his ratio of good plays versus bad plays is so much better than it was even a month ago.
Right,
you know?
right.
I mean, JK was an adventure for much of the first part of the season where he would do something spectacular stuff one night, and then the next night he'd be like, oh, what's wrong with JK?
Yeah.
And then, or he even in the first quarter, he'd do something like, oh, JK's not having a good night. Then in the third quarter, he'd be like, whoa, JK is back, you know?
Right.
So
right.
what you're seeing now is more consistency in what he does. His decision-making is better. He's not trying to do too much at one time.
Right.
You know, and he's seeing his teammates better than he ever has before. That was one of the big issues. It's like he'd go out there and there would be JK with the ball and the other 4 guys would be watching.
Yes.
You know, and now he's starting to see those guys and understand that if you don't have something, move it to somebody else.
Correct.
You know, so his evolution is on display right now, and it's a beautiful thing to watch if you're a Warriors fan.
For sure. And you think about what Kuminga, when you talk about those plays that he's making and that adjustment to making the right decision, some of those plays were helping out, you know, Klay Thompson get 6 of those 10 the threes that he put up.
Yep.
But also, there's another person that was contributing, and that's Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney, 11 rebounds, 7, right? Kevon Looney, exactly. And he deserved all of that tonight. He was phenomenal. I mean, of course, this was only one of 2 buckets for the night, but his thing tonight, elite passing. You want to talk about threading the ball?
Yeah.
That right there was beautiful. And he had 11 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, it was
7 assists,
almost a double-double for him in that category.
Yeah, Lone is one of those guys who's easy to overlook among all these stars because he's not spectacular. He's a lunch pail guy. You know, puts on his hard hat and goes to work, and that's his game.
Right.
You saw it on display, you know, in the postseason last year and the year before. you're seeing now, these last few games, he hadn't done a whole lot because Trace has come out and kind of emerged and taken some of his minutes. But you know what? This team is going to need all three of their big men. They're going to need Loon because he does something that Dario doesn't do. They're going to need Dario because he does stuff that Trace doesn't do.
Right.
They're going to need Trace because he does stuff that nobody else can do. Right. So watching Loon have a game like this tonight is like very encouraging.
Yes.
We know he can pass. 7 assists is huge. 11 rebounds, that's just Loon.
That's just
being
who
Loon,
he does.
being Loon.
Yeah,
he did it all, and he didn't need 30 minutes to do it. So he's a guy who going to play 20 to 25 minutes. That's the most. If he goes longer than that, it's because something else is going on.
Right.
But when he's able to do his thing like he did today, the Warriors are better for it because he's sort of a connector on the court.
For sure.
And he's doing a lot of things that Draymond would be doing. And so without Draymond, Loon is kind of saying, okay, I got to do a little bit more of this and this and this. And assisting is a big part of Draymond's game, and now Loon is doing it.
There you go. And he's filling in that gap and then also helping on the big aspect of the rebounding.
Yes.
Again, 49 to 30 on, 49 to 30 on the board. That's insane in terms of what they're being able to do. When you think about the game coming up, Christmas Day against Denver, we got a little bit of time. I just want to get your quick opinion on that before we go.
Well, Denver, first of all, they are defending champs. It's
real.
Yeah, and they're a tough matchup, and they'll be a tougher matchup than even normal because normally Steve Kerr can switch Draymond and Loon on Jokic.
Right.
And Draymond, again, he's undersized, but he has a way of bothering Jokic.
He's smart.
Yeah, he has a way of bothering Jokic. And Jokic can have some, last year on Christmas, Jokic had like 45 points and 15 rebounds and 15 assists, something crazy like that. The Warriors can't have that. So as long as you got somebody defending him at a decent level, you have a chance to win that game. It's going to be tough.
Well, I hope that the game is not reflective of everyone's holiday. We wish you all a happy holiday. Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Thank you all so much for joining us on Dubs Talk Live. Zena, Keita, Monte, Poole. Have a wonderful evening.